At ease. It's your boy Soul Immortal. And I'm sitting here gassing up, getting ready to head to East Texas to celebrate Mother's Day with my mom. And y'all have heard me talk about pretty much everybody in my family, my son, my father, my sister, including my mom. But I think, with the topics that we've discussed here lately, I think it'd be a good idea to finally bring my mom on and get her point of view. I think that she can identify with a lot of, the quote-unquote new age ladies. Like I've always said, I bragged about her a million times. She was a quote-unquote bad chick way before the bad chick was even around. You know what I mean? She's managed big companies. She's owned companies that work direct with the FFA. Amongst several other things, man. So she can identify with the successful woman of today. And, I really just want to get her point of view on a lot of things. So let me get gassed up. Let's head to East Texas and let's talk about it. So I'm at my mom's house, and of course it's Mother's Day, so I come bearing gifts. Let's see if she's in here. Okay, I'm sitting down with my mother, Ann. How you doing, Mama?
I'm good.
Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you, sweetie.
And, the reason I wanted to bring my mom on here, first it was Mother's Day, and I really wanted you to meet my mom. I've talked about my father, I talk about my son a lot, I talk about my mom a lot, my sisters, even my ex. So I really just wanted to bring her on here and get her opinion on a lot of the things that we talk about. Recently I made a video called She's Smart, She's Sexy, She's Single. And in that video I talked about, how a lot of, educated women or women with good paying jobs in the dating world have challenges with meeting men. And I gave a scenario real quick. I gave a scenario talking about a woman that was out and about and a guy approached her. She was attracted. They were talking. And right before he left, he said, hey, I got to go. I got to be at work tomorrow. I'm starting a new job at McDonald's. And I said instantly about 95% of the women are going to dismiss this guy, right? So what are your thoughts on educated or successful women in the dating world? Okay.
What I've got to say about that is, now, if a woman have put herself through school, she's worked hard. It takes a lot of money to go through school.
No doubt.
She's done all this, and she wants a good life. She meet this guy. Not saying McDonald's a bad job. It's not a bad job. It depends on the age too. Now, I would say a man your age working at McDonald's, is this a side job? Or, if it's a side job, it's okay. But if a man working at McDonald's and she worked really hard to put herself through school, that means she wants more things out of life, right? And if he's still at McDonald's, okay, it's okay. But be working on your education too, because she have not, and I'm not downing anyone working at McDonald's, but if she's worked so hard to put herself through school, he at least should be trying to get a better job, a better paying job, because they're probably going to have children if they get married.
That makes sense. So what are your thoughts on, what if a man is doing well in life, great job, economy falls off, boom, now he's at McDonald's and he meets this woman?
That's different.
Okay.
That's different. He's still trying to support his family.
Okay.
He's trying to support his family, and he might even take a second job. And you can't fault him for that, because he's still trying to support his family, even if you have to do it at McDonald's. There's nothing wrong with McDonald's.
So do you think it's okay if a woman meets a man and he makes less? Do you think that's okay?
Yes, it's not about who makes the most money. It's a lot of wives bring in more money than their husband, or the husband bring in more than the wives. As long as he's working and trying to bring in money, it doesn't work that way. Sometimes the man just doesn't make as much money as the wife.
Okay, so with women being, more educated, getting better jobs now, compared to back in the 70s and back in the 80s, do you think the roles of a woman have changed, or what do you think the roles are?
Well, the roles, what God said haven't changed. The people have changed it. God said, husband, love your wife as Christ loved the church. Women, be submissive to your husband. Back when I was growing up, most women didn't work. When I got out of school, my mom had dinner ready, clothes clean, the house clean, and Daddy would come in after work to a full meal. But things changed. Year by year, things were different. It started costing more for kids to be in school, to be in any type of activity. You couldn't afford that. And so many children didn't get a chance to be in these activities because they just couldn't afford it. So it started off with the wife saying, well, I'll get a job and I can help. I can help my husband do these things so our children can be able to participate in different things. That's where it started. But somewhere down the line, things changed. I think maybe because some women, not all women, some women start making more than the husband, and they didn't feel right for the husband saying, I'm the head of the household. They would say, I make more, so I'm the head of the household. So I think that's kind of where it started changing. Women started getting more educated than their husband, but that shouldn't matter. If you got more education than your husband and he's still working, that shouldn't matter. But the main thing is, as long as he's still working.
No doubt.
And trying to better himself too.
No doubt. Let me ask you this, because this is something we talk about a lot. So like, again, back when I was young, back when I was, even pre-teenager, if you looked at all the families around us in the neighborhood, it was the biological mother and the biological father in the house. That was the norm. But now it's the opposite. It's single parent households or it's stepfathers, stepmothers. So divorce is going through the roof. So my question to you is, like, why do you think that's changed so much? Why do you think divorce is so rampant right now?
Well, I remember listening to a video you did a while back. I'm not sure what your title was, but I remember you saying that a lot of balance have gone out of marriages. And I think that could be a lot of the problem is because there are no balance in marriages anymore. For instance, like, if my husband is outside mowing the lawn, I might be inside cooking. Or he might be doing different things. It's not your job, my job. If both of you are working, it's going to take both of you to do things around the house. It's not fair for a man to be working and his wife is just laying around and he comes home to a nasty house or dirty clothes or anything like that. And it's not fair for a woman to be working and he's not working. And he's not doing anything. But if both of you are working, both of you should bring something, and it doesn't matter who's making the most money. But it's got to be, like you said, I agree, it's got to be more balance in a relationship. It doesn't have to be finance. It could be other things. As long as both of you are bringing something to the table.
I always talk about like exchange. It's always about, because a lot of times when relationships is all about either a man giving all or a woman giving all, it throws the balance off.
It throws the balance off.
And it can't remain.
It throws the balance off.
Like,
it's got to be balanced out. It might not be with finance. It got to be with something else, as long as there's some type of balance. And I think that's probably why the divorce rate is so high now, that the balance have gone out of relationship.
How can you fix that though? Like, I mean, identifying it is one thing, but how does a person fix balance? Is it each individual person's job just to say, you know what, when I'm going into a relationship, this is what I require. I require exchange, but there's no way to fix it as a whole. It's going to be an individual decision, I guess. Yeah,
it's going to be an individual decision, but this is something you really need to talk about before you get married.
No doubt. No doubt.
A lot of people don't bring up these issues before they get married. and once you get married, they think you're mistreating them or whatever because this is the way they are. And I think it's only fair that the wife or the husband need to let each other know what I expect out of this marriage. And then that way, if you want to get into this marriage knowing what's going on, it's your choice.
Yeah, true.
But
so you say you watch my videos. So what do you think about the viewpoints of men? You know, because there's a lot of, you know, what we call red pill men or some men, you know, MGTOW men, where there are a lot of men that are just saying, you know what, I'm disengaging from women for a while or permanently because it's not fair, whether it's the legal system, whether it's the way women are. What do you think about that whole thing?
I don't think you need to stereotype the whole women.
I mean,
thing, you know, because
okay, but do you think that some of the things that men are saying, do you think that those women do exist?
oh, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, and I agree to say that all women are a certain way, or to even say that all men are dogs or whatever, it's crazy to say that. You know, you can't, and that's kind of what I'm doing with this new channel. You know, my old channel, I still talk about men's awareness about certain things, but at some point, we're gonna have to come to meet in the middle and say, hey, you know what, what's the problem?
And communication. You got to keep communication going, because without communication, you're doomed anyway.
Yeah. Let me ask you this: what do you think? And you may not have an opinion on this, but how do you think social media plays a role in relationships, whether good or bad?
It's some good points.
Okay.
But it's a lot of bad points. It's a lot of bad points.
You know, when I think about social media, this is what I always say. You know, two people can have social media accounts, but my thing is this. The dangerous part of it is that you have access to everybody. You know, I got access to the girls that I dated in 3rd grade, 4th grade, 7th grade. You know, that's the danger of it. And someone that you haven't talked to in several years, just with a click of a button, it's right back in your life. And if they can come back in your life when you and your significant other is in a downfall, and that's the dangers of it.
That's the danger of it.
You know, so what are the good parts of it?
Well, what I like about Facebook is keeping up with my family. You know, I get
True.
a chance to see my nieces and nephew grow up that I don't get a chance to see daily.
True.
I see my grandbabies in activities that I can't attend. But I don't think you should bring your personal life, just my husband and I are having a fight. Why would you put that on Facebook about you and your husband having a fight? So I'm talking about
I see a lot
things like that. I don't think you need to put that on Facebook, but I like to look at the pictures of my grandbabies growing up or my sister and her kids, and that's mostly what I like on Facebook.
Okay.
And plus, Facebook save you money from buying greeting cards and birthday cards.
Yeah, no doubt.
All you have to do is just say happy birthday and
No doubt.
the card sent.
So let me ask you this: like, there are a lot of single people. There are a lot of single women that are still looking for, quote unquote, good men. Like, what advice would you have for a single woman today that's looking for a good man? Like what qualities maybe should she look for in a man?
Okay, all right, ladies. This is what I would like to say. If you're looking for a good man, don't start looking for a Denzel or a Rock. You look for a man that has good qualities. Doesn't matter if he look like E.T., if he's good to you. So you got to turn this loose, and I want this man because he's got this big, nice body. You look for a man that's going to be good to you. And if you got children, good to your children. One thing you can watch how he treat his mom. A man that treat his mom like a queen, he's going to treat you like a queen.
I treat you like a queen?
Of course you do.
Of course I do.
Of course you do.
Of course I do.
I tell anybody that.
Yeah. Well, it's Mother's Day, so again, I want to say Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you, sir.
I can't thank you enough for all you've done over the years. And in my opinion, we talked about single mothers. I don't think a single mother can really raise a man. I just don't think it's possible. I think she can do the best she can. And looking back, because there was this point in time when me and you were in the house by ourselves, I was 12, 13 years old, And a lot of stuff that you did, a lot of stuff that was tough love back then that I thought was like, why she doing that? I understand why you did it now, because I'm like, you know, and if nothing else, I can say that, you know, again, I don't think a woman can raise a man, but one thing you taught me how to work hard. And one of the most important things you taught me is how to really navigate in a world that's really not set up for a black man to succeed. You taught me how to move, you know, how to make money, and main thing, you kept me out of jail. So if nothing else, a single mother can do that. If you can get your son past that, he'll be okay. You know what I mean? Keep him out of jail. Show him how to navigate in this society. He'll be. So I want to say thank you for that.
Well, you're welcome. Thank you so much.
So y'all finally met my mother. That is everybody. I hope that y'all took some nuggets from her, a different point of view. Let me know what you guys think in the comment. It's your boy Soul Immortal, and I'm out.